it's the Beginner Crafter. Welcome to another WIPTube, and this time I'm showing you what I did in May. And May was quite a good month, not as good as I had hoped it would be, considering I had much more free time than I used to. So I should have had more time for crafting, but it turned out I needed some break from crafting, and also for 2 weekends I was checking and marking school leaving exams, so I almost had no time to do anything else during those days. But still, it was a good month. I did do some nice progress, so that's great. That's what I was really hoping for. So let's start with cross stitch, maybe. I don't have any finishes because, well, none of the projects I'm currently working on are short enough, small enough to have finishes so quickly. It will be some time before I can show off finish, but at least there's some progress. So first, Miranda, since it's my focus piece for the year. And it's also the most difficult one to show because of this canvas. So Miranda is getting more and more difficult to show, but I didn't do much here. There were a few stitches I did here because I finished a thread somewhere there, usually around Miranda's head, and they continued in those areas, so I decided to put them there. But I mostly focused on obviously finishing that page. So I finished the row. I actually got 2 levels of Miranda this month, which I guess says that I did not plan well between level 1, which was getting to 50%, and finishing this row. They were quite close between one another. With Miranda, I stitched 4,730 stitches this month, and I'm at 51.5%. So as you can see, it's just 1.5% difference between 50 and, well, finishing the row plus a few stitches on the next page already. So maybe not the best planning on my part. However, well, I've got 2 goals done. My level 3 goal for the year is getting to half of the next row, which again is pretty small, I guess. It's not a lot, I guess, here. So I'm thinking about giving Miranda a bit of a break, not to completely pause it for the month, but not work on it as much this month, to give myself like a mental break from it, so that I don't overdo it. Also because here come the parts with the body of Miranda, and I can already see that there are quite a lot of confetti stitches, which I don't really like. So I think I'll work slowly on Miranda and probably finish this grid row on the page, and then focus on like continuing joining those 2 pieces of fabric together within that page. I don't have a lot to do there, like I think 2 grids, 2.5 grids until the end of the page, so that's not a lot. And probably it's going to be it. So I don't really expect to stitch more than 1,000 stitches on Miranda this month. I mean, if I do, great, but I will try to pace myself this month to give myself a break. And yeah, not overdo it, since it's my focus piece for the whole year and I don't want to be totally fed up with it. Like now that I have managed to get to 2 goals already, and the third seems pretty close, like, okay, let's now pause, because basically in the 5 months of this year I managed to stitch all that area. So with 7 months left, half of that seems very reasonable to stitch later on. So yeah, that's my plan, and we'll see how it turns out, because it might be that my brain will still be like, no, this is a focus piece, let's work on the focus piece, and it will be still a month with a lot of working on Miranda, but I'm giving myself the possibility and like the acceptance of not working too much on it in June, to sort of have a reward for the hard work that I did on it, or I have done on it so far. Then Avarice, which is, well, not the focus piece, but it's the first piece in the 7 Deadly Sins series that I have. And with Avarice, I stitched 1,337 stitches. I'm at 17.45%. And I'd like to catch up because I have not yet reached even level 1 goal with Avarice, and that's a bit worrying at this point of the year. So I'd like to give myself that opportunity. Although June will be mostly with 7 Deadly Sins, the Envy's month. However, if I don't work as much on Miranda, I might have time to work on Avarice as well and move it forward. I did work quite a lot. Like I got some of the stitches, some of the threads to the end of the page. So this is where the page finishes, more or less. And I'm filling it out slowly but surely. So yeah, we're getting forward, but I need to do it a bit more intensely if I want to do all my goals. Because level 2 goal is not so far ahead, because it was stitch on 2 pages. And that seems very doable, but I need to read that level 1 goal first, like to know that I've started doing things, like achieving goals. So that's what I want to do with Avarice, because I haven't moved it too much. And with this size piece, 1,000 stitches doesn't necessarily make a lot of difference. I mean, I can see where I stitched, I can see the difference, but sometimes you don't see that, especially once it's going to be more filled in. Then 1,000 stitches of going and filling in those white confetti stitches, it's not going to be a huge change, a very visible change. So I need to start working on it a little bit more intensely and do more stitches there. But I quite I like and I don't like working on it. I mean, I love the design, I love the pattern, but in those pages with diamonds, compared to, for example, those pages with just background, there are so many confetti stitches and so many so much changing of the thread that it's a bit annoying, and then I don't like working on it. But on the other hand, with those diamonds, you sort of get to see the details, which is fun. And with the background, you don't get to see much detail, so it can be kind of boring. So it's like, you know, back and forth with emotions when working on Avarice, and similar emotions are with Envy. However, with Envy, I am so much at the beginning that I don't really have much comparison between different pages to work on. So that's Avarice, and that's one of the pieces. The next one, and actually it's the last cross stitch project for the month, is the Extraordinary Birds stitch along. This one is designed by Lola Crow Stitch. You can buy the pattern from her webpage. She has her fan page on Facebook where you can share the progress, you can talk about different things. Quite a lot of people said they had problems with Pattern Keeper last week. I don't know, maybe before I decided to upload the new part into Pattern Keeper, it stopped having problems. Things were resolved, or I was just lucky, but I didn't have any problems yet with uploading a new pattern, new part of the pattern, and then exporting and importing my progress. So with me, that works well. It has worked well so far. The third sort of feat started yesterday, or was given out yesterday. I did not upload it because my idea here is to try to, with my progress, not to get my percentages too low, because when we upload a new part, obviously the total number of stitches changes, and then the percentages of what I've stitched changes. So what I want to do, I want to stitch on a given part until I have at least as many stitches, like the percentage of it, as I had in the previous part before I upload a new one. It sounds complicated, but I know what I'm doing. So right now I have 1764 stitches in total. In May I put 603 stitches, and I am the pattern I have uploaded has the frame, feet 1 and feet 2. So not 4 birds, 6 birds, because in the frame there were also 2 birds. As you can see, I only started some kind of bird, and I'm still really working on the frame because I had not finished the frame. And last month I was at 18%, about 18%. Now I'm at 22.22% of the new, like 2 new added parts. And I checked, and with feet 1 only, like frame and feet 1, I was at 23% and a bit. So I want to still stitch on this part with feet 2 until I get to over 23%, and then upload feet 3 and stitch on that file. So that I'm not as like depressed because I stitch on it pretty slowly. I'm not as depressed that my percentages are going down like tragically much. Like, okay, 2%, not so bad, but I guess if I uploaded the new feet every time they come out and I managed to stitch, for example, just 100 stitches a week, it would be like a very weird feeling that I'm stitching stitches, but the percentage is going down and down a lot. So I don't want that. So I don't have the newest part uploaded yet. and I'm really still working on the frame. Not very consciously, like I don't specifically say, no, I want to finish the frame first. It's sort of the most logical way for me at the moment, because those are the biggest parts anyway, with the same color, and I prefer not to change color too much. And also it sort of, because it's large parts, like for example this goes down a lot, it also makes it easier for me to count where I'm supposed to have stitches, and it will be a good basis for putting birds later on. As far as I can see, the birds are two, like here or around here on like the top part of the frame, and then both feet that were uploaded, maybe even 3 now, but I hadn't focused on feet 3 yet. They have those birds at the bottom, so it still kind of goes together, everything, but I prefer to just sort of work methodically and the way that works for me and makes things easier for me to see, not to make too many mistakes with stitching. So far I didn't have too many problems. I don't think I had to frog stitches, at least not like 1 or 2 that I misplaced and I just immediately saw. I mean, that could have happened, but nothing like large groups where I discovered later that, oh my god, I put stitches wrong, and like, you know, knock on the wood, it doesn't happen, because it would not be fun, let's be honest. So that's Extraordinary Birds Stitch Along. I'm behind, as you can see, but I'm still having a bit of fun here. And not really cross stitch, but Blackwork, but it's the last sort of stitching piece or whip. This is the 2020 stitch along, and I stitched, well, I know that the bottom row, but I don't really remember if this, I don't think it was last month, so probably I stitched the 3 parts, but unfortunately the color is very, very delicate, and this one even more. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to see. I guess this one is the best one with those darkest threads, but these ones are getting more difficult to see the design. But yeah, so as you can see, I don't have much left, like 3 rows, so like 10, 14, 15, I guess, 15 fillers, and then deal with the 2, but I might leave dealing with those 2 rectangles until next year, or wherever the mood strikes me, whenever the mood strikes me. But I want to finish this, those regular fillers this year, so I need to catch up as well. It will be like the last, no, have I already finished the goal for this? Yes, I have finished the goal for this year with this piece, so it's not like I have to, but I want to. Like, I really want to, with this, go over the goal and just sort of be done with it, or very close to done with it, and be able to focus on those more contemporaneous stitch-alongs like 2024, where I still have a few fillers to do before I reach level 3 goal, and then 2025, which I hadn't even started yet. But I quite like working on this one. It has interesting designs. I like the changing of the color, even though it can be annoying sometimes that you don't see the color because it's so light. But the whole idea of those like rainbowy colors and changing of the shades, it seems pretty cool. It looks really nice. So I quite like working on it. And some fillers are easier, especially on the eyes. Like they don't mess up your eyes. Some are a bit more difficult, where you have to see a bit more intently whether this is the correct stitch because you're in the correct place. So there's that. But this stitch along is by Peppermint Purple. She has her group on Facebook and she has her own webpage. The stitch alongs that are for the given year are free. You just have to sign up. And if you want to do stitch alongs from previous years, then you have to buy them. If you ever decide to buy a stitch from Peppermint Purple, I have a link that you can use, and then I would get small commission from it, obviously without you paying anything extra. So that's it. And then let's start with a start. My crochet piece. I'm making a new Mochila bag because the one I have is not big enough for some projects. For example, I will show you in a moment my Wishbone Sweater. It does not fit there at all because it's just too big already, even though it's maybe halfway done. I don't think it's halfway, but let's when it comes to the how much space it needs, it's about halfway done. So I need something bigger, and I found a Mochila bag. This is also this one is a CAL, a crochet along, but I don't remember which year it is from. Give me a moment. It might be 2017, 2018. Yeah, it's Mochila CAL 2017-2018. That's how it's written. So I guess it was happening like at the end of one year and then at the beginning of another. I am at week 2 because I'm finishing the bottom. And I'm not going very according to instructions because I've changed colors. In the original design, there are 5 colors. I started only with 2 because I want to get rid of those colors. Pink is totally not my color. And the yarn is pretty coarse. This is the yarn that I got from my mom. She wanted to get rid of her stash. She gave a lot of yarns to me when I started crocheting, and I have lots of yarn that I don't think it's any brand, and it's pretty coarse because I'm pretty sure it was produced in the 80s or 90s at the latest. So it's pretty coarse, and I want to get rid of it. I want to have space for a new great yarn, so I'm using it up. And at first I was just trying to get 2 colors, to use 2 colors, but then I realized I will not have enough yarn of this pink to continue, to be honest, because I don't have too much yarn of a given color. Although maybe if I visit my parents, I'll try to check if she has any more, because I'm pretty sure she still has some yarn left. And then I added a new color. I decided to mix because I'm using 2 balls of yarn for every color to make the bag a bit more sturdy. So I decided to mix gray and black together, or gray and very, very dark gray together. So this dark red or burgundy, if you want, this is the color that is the background color in the body, and then pink is 2 colors, and this gray black also serves for 2 colors, and from what I could see, what I'm choosing gray for will be the outlines of like different patterns and shapes. The pink will be then the inside of those patterns, and the red will be the background color. But it is quite possible that it's not going to be enough yarn, to be honest, because it's a little bit bigger than I had expected this Mochila bag to be. So I guess I'll be switching colors if I don't find any more yarn at my mom's house. So we'll see. So far I'm having fun, even though it's not really super flat. But I don't really need it to be perfect, so I'm okay with it. At the beginning it was a bit more problematic because you can see that it's a bit holy. I didn't get my tension super correctly, but it gets better later on, so that's fine. I don't mind it at all. I stitch this project at work when I have free periods, because now a lot of groups go on trips, so I sometimes have like a free period because of that. So I'm stitching then a little bit. Sometimes on a longer break I also stitch because I have a few groups who already have seen me stitching, so I don't mind it too much to stitch in public, but in general I try not to. It's sort of a private hobby, and I don't necessarily want to show it in public, even though I have a few times and it went pretty well. But it's a private thing, so I don't show it too often. Oh, Rito decided to join us for a consult. He's not super camera friendly at the moment because he's been at the groomers, and well, the difference is like with shearing sheep, I guess you could say, and he does look a bit like calf, or maybe even goat's kid, because he seems quite naked, even though he does have some hair, but his coat was so matted, like so matted, that the groomer couldn't really shorten the hair to the length we wanted, and is the best for his breed if you want to make them have short hair, because it just would completely like the razor would stop, just wouldn't go through. So he's still a little bit uncertain of himself, even though all the dogs here in the area have recognized him without any problems. But the owners of the dogs were a bit more skeptical of who they're seeing. And also he hurt his paw. I don't know what happened, but he hurt his paw and he's limping a bit. And he doesn't really want to show it, so I don't really know what's going on there. Like yesterday when I looked, it feels like he has some kind of wound there. But today when I tried to see, and I only managed to see like 80% of that paw, doesn't look like there's anything there. So I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, he's not too interested now to see what's going on here and to show himself off on camera. So just a small view of Rito. So yeah, the Mochila bag, still at the beginning, like I said, week 2. I don't really know how many weeks there are, but a lot, I guess, because 2 weeks for the bottom, and then it's quite tall, and then I guess there's also the week for the closing, or yeah, the closing, and who knows, maybe even the what you call it, the attachment for actually carrying it, like you have on a bag, or yeah, a school bag or a handbag. I now don't remember what's the name of it, but I guess that's also part of it. I don't think I'll be stitching that because these are mostly my home project bags, but sometimes yes, I want to carry them, but I still put it in a purse or in some kind of school bag, so I don't really need anything to carry this project with me. Just the closing part, that's what I'm going to need, definitely. And then Wishbone Sweater, really nice progress. As you can see, I've joined the front and back, and I have stitched quite a lot so far. I've made two decrease rounds already, and there's another decrease round, and then we just stitch until the end. Well, then we also have the ribbing, but we stitch sort of until the end, so that's going to go pretty well because I won't have to have a look on the pattern so much because it's very, very repeatable, so that's fun. With this sweater, it's getting big, much bigger than I thought it would be. I tried it on soon after I joined, and it fit really well, although I think the neck part is a little bit too long for my liking. I could have done it a bit shorter, but I guess it will be a good sweater for winter because it's going to be really warm. I did have to order some more of Sunless garn, the double Sunday, because it really started getting finished. Actually, I think this is already the new ball because I used the last one that I had. So I completely miscounted this yarn, how much I need. I don't remember why. To be honest, I did not look into the pattern, whether the pattern stated things incorrectly or maybe I ordered just half of it for some reason. I don't know. But I have the correct amount, at least it seems like I have the correct amount of the Drops Kid Silk, this yarn, so it probably was my mistake when it comes to buying a yarn at the beginning. So I bought some new, I eyeballed the number, so who knows, maybe I will have to order some more still, but yeah. If you hear any weird noises, this is Rito having fun with a bone, just sort of laying on his bed and either biting or like throwing it up in the air and trying to catch it, preferably without standing up. So there might be some weird noises here. I have is a gauge swatch for a new start. It's not fully dry yet, unfortunately, but I didn't really want to deal with getting everything together with the blocking board. It still needs first to dry while blocked, so I unpinned it for a moment and I'm going to pin it back again, wait for it to dry, and then it's supposed to also hang for about 2 days to let gravity do everything. So we'll see how that goes. It's summer knit along. It's the first knit along I think I'm joining with Inge's Knitting Lab. So it starts today, but because I had not read the pattern early enough, I only did the gauge swatch yesterday, and the idea is to, yes, let it dry and then still let the gauge swatch hang for 2 days, and only then measure and see the results, and then check what you need to do. So I cannot really start it today, even though I really wanted to, because I really like the design. However, it does look, because we have 3 months until the end of August. 2 months before it ends, that I will be able to catch up without any problems. The pattern is out already as a full pattern. As far as I remember, she even added smaller sizes just before the knit along, because she mostly had larger sizes before. So like, you can buy the pattern on Ravelry and start working on it. I will be using Drops Bell, if I remember correctly, which is surprisingly fun yarn. It's not really spun, so I was having doubts whether I would be able to stitch without it splitting, but it doesn't split a lot, so it doesn't cause any problems. It hasn't so far, we'll see later on. And then for the I-cord, we will be using also like a sequined yarn of your choice. I think I'll be using, I don't remember the name, Yarn Arts, Paillettes, I think it's called. So this will be the Cabled Lace Tee, I think is the name of the garment that we're going to be stitching. I do hope to finish it earlier than the end of August, because it's a summer t-shirt, so I'd like to wear it for some time before the summer ends. We've had slightly colder last few months than we had in the last few years, which I actually find good, because I'd like only the summer to be hot, and the rest, when I have to work, can be like mild, and we had pretty mild weather this year, so that's great. But I would like to be able to wear this t-shirt when we still have the summer, so I hope to actually stitch it quicker than the end of August, but I know that I have at least this much time to do it, so I'm not really worried that I still need to wait 2 days at least for me to start stitching the stitch along. It's just that I can't wait. It seems such a fun project. I was so scared at the beginning, because when I looked at the pattern, it seemed very complicated, and then when I read it carefully, it was like, oh, okay, no problem. And also there are videos for basically every part of the gauge swatch. They are really well placed in the pattern. I absolutely like the way she writes the pattern, at least so far. There are many sections, so that might be a bit confusing, but it gives you so many options. However, the links to the videos are so well placed. I love it. I really love it, so it should be fun working with this project, and the pattern is also a lot of fun. So I hope to do quite a lot. Well, to work on it pretty quickly for a lot of reasons, but at least I know that for the first 2 days of June, well, I guess 3, because today it still needs to dry, and then 2 days, I can focus more on my Wishbone Sweater and do a bit more than there. And advance there, because with Wishbone Sweater I'm, well, not very close, but finishing lower body seems pretty close here at the moment, so it's really doable. So I can focus on it for those first 3 days of June, and then move on more to this knit along cabled lace tee. I will have to think of my level 3 goals for this. Since we're supposed to finish it in August, I probably will have my goals as level 3 finish at the end of August, level 2 finish like, I don't know, half of August, and then level 1 finish at the end of August, level 2 finish like mid-August, and level 3 maybe finish at the end of July. But to be honest, I will probably figure out the level 2 and 3 goals once I actually start knitting, so that I can kind of see what's doable, so that I know that I can achieve level 3 goal, but so it's still a bit ambitious. So I'll need to stitch on it first. So I guess I'll tell you the real goals for this summer laced cable tee next month. If you liked the video, please click the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below if you have anything to say. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Bye!